Alright, so I just beat Pragmata and I had some thoughts that I want to record before I send this off back to the Gamefly because that's what I use for playing lots of different games. I'm really interested in 007, but for now I want to make sure I make this video of Pragmata before I send the game back and then I can't capture any footage. Sorry about the angle. I need to buy a tripod because right now I'm using like my chair and a shoebox just to try to get a good enough angle. But anyways, let's talk about the game. The reason I even played this was I think I saw a trailer for it on either the Video Game Awards show or something else, but it looked really good. I really liked the aesthetic that they had, and I think part of me got tricked because I'm pretty sure I saw them in New York or something like that, and then later you find out that, I mean, this whole game takes place in space, and for me, I don't really watch or like watching trailers for the most part. I feel like if I see a good image or someone kind of talks about the game on either YouTube or online, I will just check it out, and then, I mean, through Gamefly, I'm already paying for a fee, so I might as well play for like a few hours and, you know, send it back if I don't like it. This one I ended up sticking with it just because I heard it got a 9 on most places. Everyone reviewed it like it was like the best thing ever. So I wanted to just check it out myself, and I have to say I think overall the gameplay was pretty fun, but the actual story was really bad, and I found myself just skipping any, because this has like the same thing that like Bioshock has, where you'll find newspapers or articles that you can read to get more of the backstory, and it just was so boring and none of the characters made me care about them. So I just kind of just played the game. I just didn't care about the story, and I typically don't miss. I'm someone that will play the game for the story. So let's see, I kind of wanted to check out an early section just to show you guys kind of like the early game and not spoil too much of the end game. So I made sure to save something really early and kind of just show you parts of the game. So you play as Hugh, and without, I mean, I'm gonna get into spoilers, but without spoiling too much for later, you come into the space station on the moon, and you have a group of friends that you're with that are there to help fix stuff. But as soon as, like, within the first 10 minutes of the game, something goes wrong and almost everyone on your crew dies. What's weird is that even though he seems concerned at first, within like the first 5 minutes post everything going to hell, and you see this girl that kind of goes with you, he doesn't care. Like, there's no anger, there's no remorse, there's nothing. And the whole time he says, well, I need to go get a message to Earth. So now you're playing this game where you're going to different sectors within the space station, and it just feels so weird because now it quickly shifts from you lost everyone on your crew, people presumably you were friends with for a while, to now you have this girl that tags along on different missions. So this, you quickly find there's just a hub area. Many games have this where you just have a central location that you can kind of do stuff. Here you purchase upgrades for yourself, or other your shooting unit. You only have your main gun and hacking that she does while she's on your back. It's pretty like simple. There's also guns that you can pre-buy that you find it in the field, but you can also just have it on your person as soon as you enter. This game is really weird because, let's just go in. So typically you'll go into the hub area and you have like a goal of like, hey, right now we're gonna go to, let's just go, like we're gonna go to a certain section, right? So this is like your typical loadout. Once you get more weapons, you can actually add more stuff. You see that there's like 4 sections, left, right, down, up. So I'm gonna equip my shotgun basically. You have a hacking node, and as you progress through the game, you get more and more weapons, and your loadout looks much better than it currently looks. Right now, I can equip a mod. Eventually, you can, I think, equip up to 6. Right now, I only have 1. And this is the first area you unlock once you've gone through kind of like the first section. So let's stick with the first section because I don't want to spoil too much for anyone that kind of wants to play the game. But seeing as I'm going to talk about the story, hopefully you guys won't mind. So Hugh and you gave her a name. Her name is Daisy. You kind of explore different regions. I'm pretty sure there's 6 sectors total, And the game is beautiful, by the way. Like if you're looking at this, it's pretty amazing what they've been able to do with the RE engine that's just been powering like all their games, like Monster Hunter, Resident Evil, and now this. But I really like the look. So you go into many areas and there's just robots that you're fighting. Like for example, here's one. So this is a typical mini game that you kind of play where as you're aiming on them, you have to go through these nodes. So I'm gonna go through the blue ones. If you go through all blue and then you do the green last, it opens them so you can do more damage to their like face, their body. If I do headshots, it's 159 versus the 123 that you saw. And sometimes they drop weapons. I already have this one. And that's pretty much the whole game. It starts you off pretty easy. Like some of the, you're finding just basically these humanoid robots at first. I think the game just wants to ease you into the combat. Later it gets way more complicated as they introduce more robot types and they're all able to do different functionalities. Some of them are huge and they take way more bullets. But this gun reloads. The top gun, when you press up, that will always reload. Your left, right, and down weapons have limited ammo and you will have to replace them with just various weapons that you find throughout the sectors. This is what I was talking about, like whenever you click like these little things, sometimes you do cutscenes, it's so boring. I don't know if you guys might like it when you check it out, but for me, it just, after I think the first 2 hours, once I just lost all interest in what this world was, why this place mattered, I kind of just decided I'm gonna play the game and see if it gets better. For me, the gameplay for sure got more fun, but the story did not, and I really didn't care about what I was doing. So a lot of this game is just hacking stuff, turning off hazards, exploring. It's pretty linear. And one thing I didn't like at first, but I kind of was okay with it towards the end, was you don't really have a mini-map. So if you go into this room, you're not really sure where you're going. And when you press start, there's no like explanation of where you are. Like if you see on this orange highlighted section, it says I'm here, but it doesn't really tell you like where here specifically. Like I'll run around a lot and like let's say I push forward and hit this wall here, I'm still in the same here section. So even if you go move to the other section or the last section, you never at all know what section you're at. And what makes it weird is that you sometimes when you're like if you see here on the second section or where it says block information, you have like different items that you can find in each spot, like each section of this map of this sector, and it's really hard to know where have you been. So you become very familiar with the map. Like you're gonna come over and over if you're someone that likes to kind of 100% sectors or just sections. If you're one of those, you're gonna be here live. If you don't care for that stuff, you just want to play the game, it won't matter. But yeah, you'll just get very familiar with the map. I think because it looks so pretty, I didn't mind like going back through them a lot. It's kind of nice. Eventually, you just, even though like a robot may come out to attack you, sometimes you'll just run past them because you don't have to attack everything or kill everything that you see. And they introduced this kind of block. It's kind of like if you played any Metroidvania game where there's something in the way, you just started the game, you can't really get through it, so you know at some point, once you get a power up, you'll be back. So for now, we leave that alone. Here's another robot. So this one will shoot you in the face. You just have to dodge once you're about to get shot. Like right here, boom. And then go through a blue for added damage, green, and then I did one shotgun to the face and it's done. If I had just used my shotgun without hacking it first, it would do no damage. I'll show you here. Let's see if we see something like right here. It's the same enemy. I'm gonna shoot it with a shotgun blast right to the face, and you'll see that it did almost nothing. And this is where the game gets a little more fun, when they introduce more enemy types at the same time. So you want to hack this, you want to hack this, and now that they're hacked, okay, I got hit there. They just take more hits. As you see here, more weapons dropped, and now if I push right on my D-pad, I can shoot it with the net, and it kind of freezes it. And I can take this. What kind of sucks is that you're seeing here, whenever you're aiming at something with L2, this hacking phase doesn't last that long. So you kind of have to make sure that once something is hacked, you gotta get quick to it and then blow it up before you have to end up hacking again. And that's the part I found kind of not confusing, but a little bit annoying is when you have, and this happens a lot, later in the more advanced sectors, you'll be fighting like 4, 5, 6 enemies at once. And while you're running around trying to get to hit, you'll hack a few and then realize that as you're making your way dodging moves, the first guy you hacked will need to be hacked again to do more damage. That's the only part I didn't like. I was hoping that once you hack them once, they would just stay hacked. Or if they were going to do this method where they want to make sure that you're attacking things properly and on time, then at least like give us more time. Later you'll get upgrades that make or mods that make the hacks last longer. I just don't like them. And in one thing that's nice, like if you play any Dark Souls games, is that these little sections that you see me standing right here where it says triangle, I can return back to shelter. And it's basically like Dark Souls where you return back. I forgot what the hub areas would be called, but it basically takes you back to like hub areas like in Dark Souls, and then you can come back to these unlocked, basically bonfires. That's what these would be. And if I press start, you'll see that little icon with the circle and 2 lines above. That's basically the thing that I'm standing on, and it takes you back to shelter where you can get your health back, get better mods, get better weapons, and you can actually come back here. And per the game, when you do this, anything that you've killed previously will come back. So it's kind of like a nice, sometimes you want to go back because you literally just went through all of your guns and ammo, and there's no reason that I'm going to go back this way because the game is very linear. Once you start at one sector, you go to next, and then you fight a big boss at the end and it's over. So if I know that's kind of like the intended design of the game, you basically don't get punished for going back unless you're a completionist where you want to go, hey, let me check every nook and cranny to make sure I got everything, which is nice. And then you just keep going, have your full arsenal of weapons, and you're fully healed. If you see where I'm pressing O, it's kind of highlighting something. It takes a bit to use, but it's basically your Eustace West if you play Dark Souls. It heals you back up. It takes a bit to do, and while you're doing the animation of prepping it to heal yourself, if you get hit, similar to Eustace Flask, it won't heal and you'll have to do it again. So a lot of the game is pretty much a bunch of this, is just platforming, shooting stuff, and then getting to the next section. I actually really like the platforming. If you look at Hugh right now, I'm like standing up, and you have like this mirror at the bottom that you're seeing refill that lets you like float. So it's very, at first it feels very not fun just because you just started the game, but you get upgrades as you unlock more sectors that you can spend on your thrusters that allow them just to last longer. So you see me do this dodge. Once I do 2, I'm done. But you eventually upgrade your thrusters so much, you can dodge up to like 6, 7, 8 times, and then it actually recharges. So it makes even boss battles feel more fun. Traversal feels more fun when you have that ability, and that's it. And a lot of the game is just exploring. He'll talk to Pragmata, they'll talk to each other. And I think the last part I want to kind of mention before I close off the video, just before and kind of say what I thought of the game and my review of it at the end with the score out of 10, is here you're seeing Hugh and Pragmata kind of connect with each other. And one thing I didn't like is that, I mean, I had a friend who told me about this, and he said, hey, I have kids, and so for me, one reason I really like playing this game or wanted to play this game is because I heard the relationship or the father-daughter dynamic that builds is really nice. And I feel like if you can make that connection, if you're a father and kind of can see past the fact that she's a robot, that's a part that just never clicked for me. If you can see past the fact that she's artificial intelligence, she should be super smart, but she'll just ask you the most mundane, weird questions, like if she's an actual child that has like that wonder of like, hey, what's an ocean? What does that mean? Like, what makes humans unique? It just feels so weird. Like I can't picture AI asking this, but it's almost like they want you to ignore the fact that she's a robot because she has this childlike wonder. But then people say maybe she got programmed like to be a child, but and that's still weird because she's not. Like she's still at the end of the day a robot AI that was programmed to behave a certain way, but is not that. So for me, it's just that part never worked. And that relationship that you would see like Ellie and Joel have, or Booker and Elizabeth from Bioshock Infinite, where you have two characters that didn't really want to get along together. They're forced to travel together, and eventually they look out for each other. That felt genuine. That felt very nice. Here, it just feels like it's thrown at you, and they quickly bond. And then he cares so much for her, like she's a real human. It just feels strange because she's not. Like I couldn't get past the fact that she's still a robot at the end of the day. So if for you, you find that interesting, you really as a father go for it, or as a mother go for it. For me, it didn't work. Uh, these are the logs that I was talking about. Like you'll see something that kind of like, gives you background and does lore world building that I just found so boring. It starts off very just vague, nothing messages, and unlike Last of Us or Bioshock, I felt like those games use these pieces of information that you'll read, and it felt important. It felt like, oh, I'm peering into what these worlds were like before I got here, and I want to know more. Here, I'm like, I don't care. Like the whole mission is, I'm trying to send a message to Earth. Things get more complicated, but I, it doesn't really matter why we're here. Eventually, you find out why um, this girl that's on your back got created, her real purpose. It's somewhat interesting, but by then I had already checked out from the story, and by the time you find out, it's so late in the game that I'm like, I'm just trying to get through it. All right, if you've watched this long enough, I'll try to keep it short because I'm almost nearing 20 minutes, but I want to talk about the end. And for me, the end did not work. Later, you find that there's, I think by Sector 3, you find that there's another girl on the ship, and she's a pragmata like this girl is, Daisy. Her name's Nate, but she's evil. She doesn't look evil at first. You rescue, you help her, but you quickly find out, oh, she's evil. She attacks Hugh with something that eventually, I mean, they do a lot of foreshadowing. He's gonna die. And when you get to the end of the game, he basically sacrifices himself to make sure that, I mean, he was gonna die anyways, but he sacrifices himself so that she can go to Earth and get to experience a lot of things that they had talked about during their trip on this just space station. And that part's kind of interesting a little bit, but just, again, for me, didn't work. I want to kind of go back to the space station just to, okay. So while we're doing this, let me just load much a more like further section of the game just to kind of show you what to expect. Let's see. Yeah, let's do this one. So here I'm gonna show you like super late in the game. This is towards the end. You're basically like have an hour left. I'm like way further ahead. Your central hub area is way more developed. There's these like cool things that you can get where it's they basically have like a 3D printer, but you have these things that Earth has that you can 3D print here, and she will ask questions, play with them, and it's pretty interesting. She'll kind of like look at them and like, oh look, I want to play with this, or you can talk to her, give her a present, like, hey, I'm gonna give her a water gun. I don't know why. I don't know why this never just clicked with me. Like this feels so weird. She has like all these mannerisms that are very kid-like, but but she's a robot. Okay, whatever. I've been saying that over and over. I kind of want to show you how the loadout looks once you're about to get to like the end of the game. Let's go. Like I said, look. So now, late in the game, I will get my thrusters all the way. I can basically do a bunch of them, a bunch of dodges forward. And here, once you're like way late in the game, you can just have a loadout of like, what is this? 4, 5, 6 weapons. And kind of let's head towards the end. So we're basically at the end. We need to stop 8. She's trying to like basically kill Earth. And I kind of want to show you how this game looks once you have fully upgraded gear. Let's go. So here, one thing I really liked is these drones are so fun. I don't know why this grenade launcher is so fun to me, even though it doesn't really do that much damage. But the combat is fun. It's the one thing that kept me through no matter how much I dislike the story. The combat was so fun. Shotgun blast. You actually get like an auto rifle. It's like a machine gun, which is pretty cool. And right now, like you manually hack, but eventually you get ability to auto hack. And that way you don't have to go press all the buttons that get you to the hacking phase. Here you get an ability to, I mean, there's this contamination that messes up robots, and you have to kind of mess it up. And sometimes you get the auto kill option. Alright. So I want to stop here just because I just want to kind of get my review of the game. I will say that I enjoyed just playing through it. I feel like if you're someone that's like a dad and you can see past the fact that she's a robot and you just like the dynamic that maybe you have a kid that's a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, and you see them trying to learn and ask you a bunch of questions, I feel like you'll connect with it, you'll like it. When it comes to gameplay, it's pretty fun. I would recommend trying it out. I don't think it's worth the full price of $70. To me, there's just too many flaws that don't make it, they just don't seem to justify the price. So either wait for it to go on sale, or if you have either GameFly or I think Microsoft has like the Game Pass, do that. Aside from that, I want to give this like a 6 out of 10. I don't think it's like 5 where it's like so bad and I'm like what happened. And the only reason it's 6 is just it looks great, it sounds great, the voice acting whatever, but it's a fun game to play. To me, the fact that the story doesn't make sense, the fact that it doesn't make sense why they have this relationship that's just building, to me it just doesn't work, and I couldn't give it like that 7, 8, 9. 3 points lost to me at least, that keep it from being like this 9 out of 10 that I read from IGN and other websites. So let me know what you guys think. Hopefully you guys if you guys want to check it out. I will say it was still fun, regardless of how bad the story was. The fact that I really care for these characters at all, I think it's a fun game to play. Recommend get it on sale. I still say it's a 6 out of 10. All right, and 6 out of 10 doesn't mean the worst thing in the world. It's heavily flawed, and I think the score should reflect that. So I think after this, I'm gonna do a video on Resident Evil, and then hopefully once I play 007 First Light, then we'll do another video on that. So thanks for watching. I'll make sure to start uploading more often. Unlike before, I know I've gone over quite a few years since my last upload, and I think my channel is going to be more focused on video games. I think eventually I want to do like a food channel as well, just because I really like food, try new stuff. But for now, on this channel, I want to focus on games, and I for sure want to upload way more. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one. See ya.